This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to CWK Live every Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm your host, Dan Z. Thrilled to be talking Star Wars with each and every one of you. Here's a fun little behind-the-scenes fact. About 10 seconds before the show started, I realized I didn't have my microphone turned on. So I have remedied that, and we are here ready to talk some Star Wars. First, let's bring in Minta. This is the way. It's CWK Day. Minta, welcome back to the show. Always good to have you. Also, always good to have Mary. Mary, happy Monday to you. How are you doing? When is your next adventure to Disney World, Mary? I know you go there quite a bit. Jason, hello there. Henrik and I are ready to use the Force tonight. Jason, awesome. Good to have you and Henrik back. Henrik, good to have you, buddy. 3 weeks in a row, right? Is it a month? I think it's 3 weeks in a row, Henrik, so good to have you. Anthony is here. Happy day to you, Anthony. Happy CWK Live. Good to have you, my friend. Blake is here. What is up, my friend? Hey, baseball starts on Thursday. Pretty exciting. Amber and River are here. River, welcome back. I believe River is here for the third week in a row as well, so congratulations. River and Henrik, you are officially a part of the CWK family. How about that? Ross is here. Hello. Good to have you, buddy. Ross at a great CWK Alliance Spotlight show, which we'll talk about later in the show. Ben is here. Hello, Ben. And Josh is back from WonderCon. Josh, good to have you, buddy. Looking forward to hearing and seeing more about your experiences at WonderCon. I bet it was cool to be back at a convention. Mary says we were briefly there last Wednesday looking at houses. We plan our move to the area soon. Wow, how about that? Very exciting. You're going to get all of your postcards and mail on Batuu itself. How about that? Well, tonight's show, of course, is all about Star Wars Rebels. We're going to look at your top 5 moments from Star Wars Rebels Fight or Flight. We've got some more Star Wars Celebration announcements. And, of course, your comments and questions. Very good. Well, we've got a new friend. Jenny is here. Jenny says, newbie here. Heard about you from Jake and Ben Anderson. Well, Jenny, so nice to have you on the show. Love your profile picture. So cool to meet you and to have you on Coffee with Kenobi's CWK Live. That's fantastic. Ross says, Mary is a Batuu insider. That's right. That is exactly right. Finally. Anthony says, my wife and I are looking to move down to the Orlando area too. Oh, really, Anthony? Well, that's exciting. Well, look at that. Very cool. And Jenny Mary wishes you welcome. Yeah, you are certainly in the right place for a great Star Wars community. That is for sure. All right. Ben says, that's my sister-in-law. Well, awesome. So good to have you. And Jason says hello as well. Look at that. See, bring in family and friends. That's how we build our own little Star Wars family. So I am here for it. I love it. All right. Well, let's take a look at what is brewing in the world of Star Wars this week. Yeah, people keep asking me that. That actually is the Lucasfilm lobby. That ending part, by the way. Anyway. So, Jacob, hello, Jacob. He says, husband and wife here with Jenny, recommended from the Star Brothers podcast. Well, Jacob, a pleasure to have you, my friend. Happy to have you and your family here talking Star Wars with us on CWK Live. And, of course, as you know, you can see the show here on Facebook. You can watch it later on our Facebook page, on our Instagram channel, on Instagram, or on our YouTube channel. And then the audio of this will go on the podcast feed, which is going to be heard by lots and lots of people. So your voice counts. It counts regardless of Coffee with Kenobi naturally. But what I'm saying is that on this show, your thoughts are going to be heard throughout anywhere people listen to Coffee with Kenobi. So that, to me, is super cool. With great power comes great responsibility. And your responsibility is to be awesome. So good job, CWK Live community. Love it. Brian says, best part of Monday nights right here. That's right. It is great because of people like you, my friend. All right, let's take a look. We got some more announcements for Star Wars Celebration as far as guests go. Giancarlo Esposito, of course, is Moff Gideon from The Mandalorian. I love that picture of him. He's going to be there, I believe, all 4 days as a guest. And Eunice Suetamo, who is Chewbacca from the sequel trilogy and Solo, He's an awesome guy. I actually interviewed him at Walt Disney World for Galactic Nights back in April, I think 2018. Yep, 2018. And I got to spend some time with him at the solo premiere. He's a really great guy and incredibly tall, of course, because he is Chewbacca. We also have Daniel Logan, naturally, from Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. He played a young Boba Fett. Daniel Logan is a great guy. He will be there, as will Omid Abtahi. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. My sincere apologies if I'm not. He is, of course, Dr. Pershing from The Mandalorian. So this is his first Star Wars Celebration appearance. We'll be looking forward to meeting him. Anthony says, great lineup of guests before. I agree with that. So Kerry Jones is the actor who plays Chrysanthemum. He is going to be at Star Wars Celebration his first time. That is going to be awesome to meet him as well. Chrysanthemum, an instant fan favorite. So to see Kerry Jones will be really, really cool. And then you've got the all-star lineup of creatives and authors from Star Wars The High Republic: Claudia Gray, Justina Ireland, Daniel Jose Elder, Kevin Scott, and Charles Soule. So that's going to be quite spectacular. And of course, as we get closer and closer and we know more about what's going on, I will be sure to let you all know. And of course, you're probably going to find out before me because of social media, which is great. Mary says that she and Chaz met Giancarlo Esposito at Lexington a couple weeks ago. He was so pleasant and such a good speaker. Well, that's nice to hear. No surprise as well. Mary, Chaz must think you're the coolest mom ever. You take him to a lot of the greatest stuff, which I love. All right, so that's really the main announcements at the time when I got this thing ready. So now I believe it is time for us to transition into our actual top 5 itself. So for on our top 5s, of course, we are going through Star Wars Rebels again. For many of you, it's your first time watching Star Wars Rebels. And for others of you, it's a rewatch. The nice thing about this, well, I remember certainly later episodes very much more clearly than others. And while I've seen this series several times, watching it again with Mason has been wonderful because we are just experiencing it almost like it's brand new. So it's just been fun to relive it and to forget a lot of the details. I'm very, very excited about it. I'm having such a good time watching it with all of you and looking forward very much to your top 5. Minta says, make sure everyone gets some great video of Celebration. We will, Minta. We're certainly going to miss you. Absolutely. We'll bring you plenty of coverage both in the cafe and on everyone's social media for sure. All right, let's do this. Fight or Flight, a very interesting episode, I think, and Mason agrees with me. I think it's the best episode so far in season 1. There's some really great character stuff here, some great laughs, and just I think there's some important things that happen. So let's just go ahead and jump into it right away. So my number 5 is art. Simply put, it is the art. Sabine has a little bit of fun with Ezra and Zeb just being themselves and being obnoxious and really messing with each other. Chopper is enjoying it, taking the screw pins or whatever they're called out of their bunk so that they smash into each other, and she memorializes, as she says, I want to be his inspiration. Or she says, Ezra, it was kind of awkwardly trying to flirt with Sabine. If you need some inspiration, she goes, well, you wanted to be my inspiration. Here you are. So be careful what you wish for, everybody. So that is my number 5, the art of this episode. Pretty fun. Minta's number 5 is Chopper Trouble. Always the instigator. Yes, he is. He just doesn't tire of being squirrely, does he? I love Chopper. All right, Ross is number 5. Sabine decorating her room and Ezra trying to hit on her from the hallway. Very, very good. Very similar to my number 5. I love that one, Ross. 5 for Murray is Melu runs such a running gag and they keep coming back. I know when we were on the Star Cruiser, we talked about how cool it would be to actually taste a Melu run, which of course they're not real, but however they do it is fun. Jacob is here. What's up, Jacob? Jacob says, number 5, it's not the tie you're looking for. It's one of my first of many Easter egg callbacks to the movies. I know, Jacob, this episode, I didn't put it in my list, but it's full of great musical cues. Some stuff from Return of the Jedi, too, which we don't often hear sometimes in these musical cues, so that was great to see or hear. Ben's number 5. Zeb and Ezra return with the one Melu run, and the fact that Hera's mission was never about the Melu run, I'd say mission accomplished, Hera. I would say so as well. Brian's number 5. Chopper is joking with Ezra when Ezra tries to use the Force on the bowl. Oh man, that was so cruel and so funny at the same time. It's a classic Chopper. Jason's number 5. Zeb's Imperial call sign, Commander Melu Run. That was hilarious. And Henrik's number 5. Zeb flying the TIE Fighter, which was awesome. That's going to come up on mine later, Henrik. Jenny's number 5. When Kanan says, "You what?" When Ezra and Zeb tell him about the TIE Fighter, such a father figure to them both made me laugh. That was pretty great. I like that one as well. Amber's number 5. Chopper shenanigans. River's number 5. The fruit vendor getting almost run over by the TIE Fighter. I know I was like, that was a little bit of a close call, I am sure, but that was certainly very entertaining, I would say. Oh, Mason says, sorry I'm late. I was doing the Harry Potter word search. Oh, you found it, buddy. It's pretty challenging. Surely you didn't finish it, did you? I found a Harry Potter word search that I brought to Mason, and I figured he and his mom were having a little bit of fun with that, so very good. So, Mason, no worries, buddy. Blake's number 5. Us seeing Imperial occupation. The Empire even treated the modern folks like jerks. It's great world building. Yes, it is. And, seeing again, I think what Rebels did so well was really build that foundation for what it meant during the occupation of the Empire. It's very, 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 very frightening and fascinating at the same time. Ben, who else had used Google how to spell Melee runs before coming here? Hashtag asking for a friend. Hey, man, no shame with that. You're using your resources. I tell my students all the time, you got to Google stuff, whatever. As long as you're spelling it correctly and you're trying, that's what matters. I had to as well. I had to practice pronouncing it because I knew I had to say Melee run quite a few times tonight, so no worries. Number 5 for Mason is Sabine's painting at the end, which was my number 5 as well. So Mason and I tied with that one, as I believe Ross did too. Okay, Jenny is owning it too, so she had to Google Melee run, of course. You got 12 words. Very good, Mace. Very good. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good challenging one. All right, let's go ahead and jump into number 4. Number 4 for me, I simply put friends and family. So Marad Summer is the elder gentleman here that recognizes Ezra, and he was friends with Ezra's mom and dad. I think it's important here because we know that Ezra is sort of the quote-unquote street rat from the world of Star Wars, but the fact that he has, there's more to him than just action and being force-sensitive and being squirrely. It's important that he has a family connection, that he has a personal connection to this planet and to his friends, that he's very loyal, and that's a theme, of course, we see throughout not only this episode, but the entire series. So I really like how they brought it to life here. So that is my number 4, the Morad Summer and what that aspect of it brings and teaches us about Ezra and his story. Okay. Minta's number 4, Sabine decorating Zeb and Ezra's room. No matter where she goes, no ship is safe from her. And don't you like when Hera says, well, it could be worse, it could be my room. I like that. That's kind of a quick little thing Hera says, but really fun. Speaking of Melee runs, 4 is Ross's Melee run fruit, an unsung hero in the galaxy. That's great. I like how you put that. Jenny's number 4. We had said this one already, but this is a great one, so I'm glad you're repeating it, Jenny. This is not the tie you're looking for. That's Jenny's number 4. By the way, I love that it's your first time. You've already done your homework. Bravo, Anderson family. Love that. So good. Mary's number 4. Sabine's paintings, especially her addition to Ezra and Zeb's room. Jason's number 4. Chopper tricking Ezra into thinking he was using the Force to lift the bowl. And Henrik's number 4. Ezra sneaking on top of the Imperial transport to steal the Melee run. Yeah, I had a feeling you would like that one, Henrik. It's really pretty fun, isn't it? Jacob's got number 4, Kanan and Hera talking about Ezra and Zeb as kids. The kids. It feels like the beginning of the Rebels family coming together. It is really nice, isn't it? I mean, in the way they've crafted this thing and built this world and this family organically, it doesn't feel forced. It feels like a natural part of the story, and I really like how they do it. I think it's one of the reasons why the show has lasted in our hearts the way that it has. Blake's number 4, I think the line was, this isn't the tie you're looking for, a great reference to the original trilogy. Yes, very good. A few people have loved that one as well. It's a really good one. Ben's number 4, Chopper being mischievous, pulling the pins, lifting the bowl, etc. Chopper is one of the best personalities in Star Wars. Well, look, You won't get any arguments from me. I love Chopper. I think he's great. Amber's number 4. Zeb grabbing Ezra upside down while flying the TIE fighter with his feet. That's very good. And River's number 4. Zeb jumping onto the TIE fighter and snatching the pilot out. Zeb is so, he like jumps around like Spider-Man, doesn't he? But he's really, really strong. It's a great combination. Brian's number 4 is Kenan and Chopper playing hollow chess. Wasn't that cool? Kind of a nice little throwback to episode 4. Mason's number 4 is Zeb and Ezra becoming friends. Throughout this process, throughout this journey, the two of them learn to work together. And they certainly fight like brothers. There's no question about that. But they become friends. And they help each other out and save each other's lives and risks everything for one another. It's real friendship. It's real love. And that is Mason's number 4. Okay, I think I've got everybody's number 4 here. Let's go ahead and jump into number 3. Number 3 for me, everything with this TIE adventure was great. I particularly like when Zeb takes over the TIE. He jumps up there. He appears to be cornered. He's got the stormtroopers in front of him, the TIE behind him. The smug pilot thinking he's got his prey right where he wants him. But that is not the case. Zeb is athletic, he is brave, he is strong, and he does not mess around. And then when he takes over the TIE fighter, I really like how he kind of starts flying it. And, I've never flown one of these things. They barely moves it, and it takes a sharp turn. Pretty fun. So I love that. As if I don't have one of my TIE fighters with me, I would use it right now. But I don't. So, another time. I think that maybe that would be fun to find at Celebration as a classic Kenner TIE. Ooh, that would be cool with the sounds. Ooh, that would be nice. All right, number 3 for Minta. Sorry, excuse me. These are what my inside thoughts sound like when I say them out loud. Minta, a friend of the family, seeing Morad Summer reminisce with Ezra was the authentic touch we need to make the series more real. That isn't just lightsabers in space. Well, Minta, you said that so much better than I did for my number 4. That's right on the money. Number 3 for Ross. You what? By Kenan as he and a relaxed hero learned that the kids stole a TIE fighter. I like that too. That was great. Well done. Jacob's number 3. Ezra uses the Force to push the button and release the prisoners. His first purposeful use of the Force to help others. Yes. Super cool. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, Jacob. I said that to Mason out loud. Oh, this is the first time Ezra is consciously using the Force. So yeah, nice. Well done. I feel fortunate that I picked one that you did, Jacob. Right on. Josh is still missing his TIE. Well, Josh, you and I will be on the hunt on the show floor for a TIE fighter, okay? How about that? Amber's number 3. Ezra becoming better at using the Force and is trusting himself more. Number 3 for River. Chopper zapping both Ezra and Zeb and overall causing chaos. River, when you saw Chopper zapping and hitting Zeb as Ezra kind of ducks out of the way and it shocks him when he says, "Don't wake me up," I thought, uh-oh. Zeb doesn't like to be woken up. I can certainly relate to that. But that was pretty exciting and definitely going to be a challenge for sure. Let's see. Jason's number 3. Hera's wisdom in teaching Zeb and Ezra to work together and bond by sending them on a mission with an unlikely to be achieved goal. It was clever. It was definitely like upper level challenging leadership, and it worked out well. Henrik's number 3 was Ezra using the Force to turn the TIE fighters and avoid crashing into the rock formation. Oh yeah, that was cool too, wasn't it? The very end, you just they play that great music, and Ezra gets that kind of spiritual, existential look about him, and then he tells him the time to turn. So yeah, that's a good call, Henrik. I should have put that on mine. Jenny's 3. I like how Ezra makes sure to get the Melaroon fruit to Hera, not because she's the mom of the group, but because he knows it's her favorite fruit that she doesn't get very often. He cares about her. Yes, he does. It's great. And yeah, it wasn't like showy. It was more like he made a promise, so he wanted to follow through with it, which I thought was cool. Blake's the same as me. My number 3, Blake's number 3, same as mine. Zeb taking the TIE. It brought me back to the Bad Batch episode reviewed on CWK when Omega and Hera stole that ship and didn't initially know how to fly it. Oh, nice. Good connection, Blake. I hadn't thought about that, but I feel fortunate to have the same one as you, my friend. Oh, Ben too. Look at this. I'm all kinds of lucky if I'm in the same company as Ben and Blake, but he says, Ben says, same as Dan, Zeb steals a TIE fighter, and when he asks the pilot, you don't happen to have any mailer runs, do you? I know, and it was like, really, it was kind of serious too, wasn't it? That was pretty clever. Number 3 for Brian, parent theme number 1. Kanan and Hera talking about kids being gone, and Hera feeling guilty about sending the kids on a wild goose chase. Yes, that was good. Parenting thing number 1. Does that mean there are going to be other parenting things, Brian? I'll have my eyes open, buddy. Mary's number 3. Zeb, Ezra, and Chopper. The kids always fighting, but their unity by the end of the show is great. Yeah, it is great. They really are like brothers. And Ben says, Blake, that is a great callback. It is. It's really cool. I hadn't thought about that. Number 3 for Mason is Chopper's mischief. Look, if Chopper's there, he's either going to be grumpy or he's going to be causing havoc, playful havoc. And that's pretty fun. Can you imagine? We need more Chopper. That's what we need. We need more Chopper. So that's good stuff. All right, let's jump into number 2. Number 2 for me is the line. Wait, you did all this for fruit? What a great line, right? That the Stormtrooper can't believe that this guy would risk his life for a Melu run. You did all this for fruit. It was funny. I think that's one of the brilliant things that Rebels does. And I've said it before. I'll say it many more times as we go through this series yet again. But they know how to put humor in at moments when you just need a little bit of a break from the emotional tension, the drama of the episode. I mean, that's Shakespearean, classic Shakespeare, the comedic relief. It's certainly not the same level as Shakespeare, but it doesn't have to be. It's fun. It's perfect. It's a great line. So yeah, you did all this for fruit. That's my number 2. I love that. All right, let's see what else we have here. Minta's number 2. Zeb having a little too much fun with the TIE fighter before he got full control of the ship. He was laughing like a madman, shooting lasers at the stormtroopers. Yes, he was. Liberty, hey guys, flying in low and late, but everything you guys have said so far I love. Well, thank you, Liberty. Great to have you on the show. Jason's number 2, seeing the Ghost family develop. Zeb and Ezra fighting like siblings, Kanan referring to them as the kids, and Hera's mom look that even seemed to make Kanan nervous. That is a good call, Jason. Henrik's number 2, Chopper messing with Ezra, making him think he was using the Force to lift the bowl. So, Henrik, let me know. Is Chopper one of your favorites? He's one of mine. Is he one of yours? Ross is number 2. Sabine's artistic interpretation of Ezra's bunk crashing down on Zeb. The series can get intense at times, so it's really nice to have this levity between the characters. Exactly, and Ross, you said that better than I did for number 2. Bravo. Yeah, it's the levity, the lightness, the playfulness. It's just very welcome. It's great stuff. Mace, we need to get your Chopper action figure out of your collection and play with that. That's fun. Brian's number 2, Ezra is building confidence in using the Force. He tries to remove the lid on a container in the beginning, but can't. He tries to open the locks on the transport, closes his eyes, and is able to unlock it. Yeah, that was cool. I like so much seeing Ezra grow in the Force and his abilities and not giving up. I think that's an important lesson for people. Amber's number 2, seeing the group as a real family unit. Is Sabine the cool older sister? Interesting. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Rivers number 2, Zeb driving the TIE fighter with his feet was very funny. Yeah, a lot of people like that one. I like it too because it's got prehensile tail. Oh, not tail, but that's his feet and as well as his hands. So it was pretty cool. Jacob's number 2, Ezra steers the ship using the Force. He couldn't use it with the bowl, but when he needed the Force, it was there for him. It gave him the confidence to grow. Yes, it did, Jacob. Well said. Mary's number 2. Zeb and the TIE fighter and the music in the background was great. Flying upside down and hanging out to grab Ezra. So much fun. Ben's number 2, Zeb and Ezra in harmony. Can we keep it? It's a moment when they become a team, or like kids who just found a lost puppy. They really played the sibling coming together theme well. I'm laughing because that's a great line. I forgot to write that one down as like an honorable mention, but when they first say that, can we keep it? I thought that was super cute, like you said, finding a lost puppy. Jenny's number 2, Chopper is seriously my top 3 favorite characters in the Star Wars universe, and that's why he's so high on my list. He's the epitome of the annoying baby brother in the episode. That's good. I totally agree with that. Jason Henrik says yes to Chopper being one of his favorites. I thought so, buddy. I thought so. It's a great choice. Blake's number 2, me realizing for the first time Chopper is missing his far right eye on his dome. Wait, what? I don't know that I've ever realized that. So I guess I was today years old when I found that out, Blake. I need to look at a picture of this, but that's cool. Number 2 for Mason. This is mine. Yep. Oh, no, sorry. Mason's is a little bit different. As Ezra's response. Yep, all for fruit. That's just Ezra's line, and then boom, takes care of business. But that got a big chuckle out of every else at our house. All right, but there can only be one number 1. Let's get a drum roll here. The number 1 moment from Fight or Flight is... It's the rescue. Seeing the troop transport and the rescue itself. So the troop transport, for those of you who maybe aren't as familiar with this, I'm sure many of you are, but just in case, the troop transport is this. So between Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back, Kenner released this thing. This was the Imperial Troop Transport. It had an actual sound effects of dialogue. I don't know if it was actually the real dialogue. Can't remember what it sounded like. It had the dialogue from the movies. It had blaster fire. You could put the stormtroopers in there and drive around. But the Imperial Troop Transport was so cool. Imperial Troop Transporter was so cool, but it was never in any of the shows or anything like that. So when we actually got to see it in this, because this is the first time it was in anything canonical, we were thrilled. And of course, later it becomes very, very famous in The Mandalorian, seeing it in live action. But before that, this was the first ever appearance of this. So the transport and the rescue itself. So not only seeing the troop transport, but the incredible rescue is very exciting, with, as many of you have mentioned, with Zeb piloting that TIE fighter with his feet, going upside down, grabbing Ezra jumping back and forth, using the Force to open up, to push that hatch so that Morad could jump and his family could jump and be free. Just really great, really exciting. So I kind of put that all together. All right. Number 1 for Minta. Wait, you did all this for fruit? Yes, they did. And it strengthened the brotherly like bond between Ezra and Zeb. I agree. Ross loves that troop transport. It's so cool, isn't it? Jenny's number 1. My favorite part of the episode is when Ezra really begins to connect with the Force. Not just in a cool way, like moving the bull in the beginning, or trying to, but really to connect with it in a personal way. It's a great way to set up his journey in the Force. Yes, it is. Well, Jenny, you and Jacob are going to be a great addition to our little CWK family. And Jacob says, speaking of Jacob, number 1, Zeb saves Ezra and flies the ship with his feet. He says, we're eternally even. It was the moment they became brothers and became a team instead of owing each other for everything. Yep. And they are totally even. I like that he actually makes him, talk about little kids, like acting like kids. They're in like this life or death situation, but Zeb says he's not going to help Ezra until Ezra actually says it out loud. I need to hear you say it. That was just classic. Amber's number 1, Zeb and Ezra finally coming together as equals, teammates, and brothers. River's number 1, you did all this for fruit. Honorable mention, this is not the tie you're looking for. River, those are great connections. Again, that reference to A New Hope is awesome. Yeah, the fruit thing, we all love that. We all just think that was so funny. I'm glad you brought that up, River. And Amber, I agree. Them coming together as teammates and equals. A lot of us love that because it's just important, right? It's really important. We can tell the toys the creative teams play with his kids. Yeah, on Rebels Recon, Filoni talked about that and really wanted to incorporate that into it, which is great. Jason's number 1, Ezra calming himself and using the Force to free the prisoners from the Imperial transport. And Henrik, the music when Ezra uses the Force. Yeah, whenever you hear that music, Henrik, you know that something important is happening in the story. Number 1 for Mary, the family unit. Hera and Kanan sitting and talking about the kids. We really see the beginning of this group becoming a real family. My honorable mention is Ezra being the one to use the Force to open the prisoners' locks. I love that too. It's very important. Super cool. Number 1 for Ross. The entirety of this Ezra and Zeb buddy episode, building their rapport through antagonism, heroism, and comedy. Yes. Hear, hear. Blake's number 1, seeing Zeb and Ezra's relationship becoming more of a brother episode. Me and my brother, who are both in our 30s now, still act like those two in this episode. Oh, I would love to see that, Blake. I'm so grateful I'm doing a rewatch of this series because of CWK Live. I never got that on my first watch of the show. I know, so we did Rebels reactions, but it's just different now rewatching it like this with all of you. It's just so fun. Brian's number 1, parent theme number 2. Awesome. Hera's mission to send Zeb and Ezra out as punishment, forcing them to work together. This hits close to home as My mom did this to my brother and I all the time to get us to quit fighting. Yep. Oh, yeah. Deanna with older boys used to do clever stuff like that, too. Pretty great. It works. Number 1 for Ben, the dialogue right before the rescue started. Ezra, what's the worst that could happen? Zeb, we could both wind up dead. Ezra, besides that, Zeb, all right. I love this dialogue. They both know the price of being rebels. Oh, I like how you said that. They know the price of being rebels. That's good. Meantime, honorable mention, this is not the tie you're looking for. Very cool. Liberty says, my favorite thing about the episode was seeing Ezra grow in the Force. He always seemed to wield the Force when he's in a pinch, and he's very good in a pinch, which is good since his crew gets into so much trouble. That is for certain. Mason's number 1 is the same as my number 2. Many of you already mentioned it. You did all this for fruit? That's his number 1. It's funny. It's great. And it's just, again, a nice, lighthearted thing to kind of put things in perspective, to show what these characters are and what makes them tick. Speaking of what makes them tick, next week we kick things up dramatically quite a bit. Top 5 moments from Star Wars Rebels: Rise of the Old Masters. This is a very, very significant episode where we're going to see the main bad of Season 1 show up, and nothing is the same after that moment, for sure. So, that is going to be next week. So, let's see. Jason says, it seems like Ezra struggles to use the Force when it's something he's doing for himself, like trying to lift the bull, but uses it quite easily when he needs help or saves someone else. Very interesting. Oh, that's interesting, Jason. And it does certainly pan out to what kind of character Ezra is. He's selfless, for sure. I like that connection. All right, everybody. And he says, ooh, that was a dark episode. I know we're going to have to relive it together for our rewatch for next week. And now, let's jump into Ask Dan Z. All right, so Ask Dan Z, this is where you can ask me anything Star Wars. Happy to give celebration tips, whatever I can share, I will certainly do so. Anything. What is on your minds, everybody? I know some of you are getting ready to watch the national championship game between Kansas and North Carolina. I am rooting for Kansas. I want Duke to win. I wouldn't say I'm a Duke fan, but I just really kind of like their team. I wanted Coach K to do well. He's got 6 national championships, I believe, so I think he's okay historically. But yeah, if you're not able to go to Star Wars Celebration, what can you do to try to get the most out of it anyway? So Ben, that is a very important question. I can tell you what I would do is I would be watching your favorite websites, StarWars.com, Coffee with Kenobi, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, all over social media. I would say that would be the way to go. I can tell you that even though I'm going to be one of the hosts of Star Wars Celebration, yay! Sorry, it's hard to say that out loud and not get excited. I am going to be giving you as much as I can on Coffee with Kenobi's social media in the CWK Cafe. We'll be doing some live stuff from the floor. We're going to be having a ton of fun. I'm going to bring you as much as I possibly can of Celebration, so you're going to feel like you're part of the action. So no way am I going to forget about my CWK family, Alliance members, Coffee with Kenobi, members of this amazing group that we have. I will bring you as much as I possibly can on social media. Hopefully daily podcasts. If you look at past Celebration coverage for Anaheim, for Orlando, for Chicago, every day we did a daily show recap and stuff, so I will try my best to do that for you again. Meantime, besides Celebration, how do you plan to celebrate the month of Star Wars? That's a good question. Well, I always like to watch New Hope then. I think that's fun. Hopefully there'll be some new merchandise. What about you? Ross says, as a Terps fan, I was happy Coach K made the Final Four but didn't win another championship. Ross, I'm hearing that theme a lot. I think that's a good way to say it. Can we do something special in the community for the release of the Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga this week? I feel like there's going to be a lot to talk about. Yeah, what do you want to do, man? I'm open to any suggestions. Mason says, Kansas, go Kansas, because North Carolina is my least favorite team. I'm with you. Of course, Michael Jordan, my favorite player ever, alum of North Carolina, obviously a given. But North Carolina beat Illinois in the championship, years and years ago, and since then I've had kind of an about them. Ross has his pre-ordered. Ben, selfish question. I'm going to Chicago in May for work. Never been before. What should I do? Cubs game? Yeah, man. Of course you should go to a Cubs game. That would be awesome. The Cubs are great. So even when they're not great, it's still great to be at Wrigley Field. So you should definitely go. Bensie's going to be playing all weekend. We're excited about it here for sure. We're looking forward to getting it as soon as possible and playing that game. It looks like it's going to be really legendary, I would say. Is there any certain, since we've seen the Lego kind of go through the movies, they're going to redo it and look at it differently. It's going to be more detailed, I'm guessing, more fun, more playful, and more exciting, and all new. So is there a certain world that you're looking forward to playing in, a certain scene from a movie that you're looking forward to? Let me know. Brian's excited for opening day on Thursday. I am too, man. It's going to be great. Ross says, Kuma's Corner Hard Rock Burger Restaurant. Nice. Mason says he's going to be playing all weekend too. Amber says, got a beef sandwich in Chicago. Mr. Beef is the best place to go. That is a good tip. I would say if you like pizza, deep dish pizza, Lou Malinati's is, to me, the best pizza in Chicago. They put the toppings on the bottom, the tomato sauce on top. It's really thick. It's unbelievably good. Lou Malinati's is so good. I would recommend that as well. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for CWK Live. Of course, you can join us every Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. This week on Coffee with Kenobi, we did the top 5 things The Empire Strikes Back teaches us. It was me, Colby Mead, and Tom Gross. And I feel pretty good about the show. I really liked it. I feel like we brought up some things about The Empire Strikes Back that maybe you had never thought of before. Got some great feedback on it. Be sure to check it out. Top 5 things The Empire Strikes Back teaches us. Minta, may the force be with you. I mentioned this earlier, since Ross is with us, even more prudent. He was our CWK Line Spotlight member, and he came up with the idea of top 5 songs for a space battle playlist that you would want to listen to if you were heading into battle, which was a great one. We even did a Spotify playlist of the actual ones. We had a great time doing it. I listened to the playlist all weekend. Totally awesome. Be sure to check out CWK Pro. If you want to check that out, you should become a member of the CWK Alliance. That is how you can do that. To get to the seat, let me get up the little logo here, CWK Alliance. There you go. www.coffeewithkenobi.com/CWK Alliance. This is a way to give back to the show, but you get exclusive access to podcasts and video not found anywhere else, and you're able to support Coffee with Kenobi. Amber says, see y'all next week. The top 5 ESB was great. Well, thank you so much, Amber. I appreciate that. Jenny, it was fun. I appreciate it. I was glad you and your family could join us. We had a great time, for sure, chatting with you and everybody here on CWK Live. Always a pleasure. Mary, have a great week. Jason, have a great week to you. Henrik and I had lots of fun being with you tonight. Well, good. We had a great time with you too, man. Henrik, do your homework, buddy. Get to bed on time and listen to your parents. I know you will. Great job tonight. Brian, great way to start the week as always. Thank you so much. Jacob, we'll save a spot for you next week, my friend, for sure. Mary, thank you for your comments on the Empire Strikes Back show. Next week, we're going to do one on Return of the Jedi. So here you go. Ross, have an excellent week to you too as well. Blake says, see ya, my Star Wars family. We will see you soon, Blake. Oh, gosh. I wish I could get a CWK jet and pick you all up. We'll all go to Celebration together. Liberty says, nice to hang out with you all for a bit. Yeah, Liberty, it was great to have you. Mary says, Jenny, hope you guys come back next week. Yeah, we'll certainly save you a spot. I'll save you a spot next Monday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time for our top 5 things from Rise of the Old Masters. It's been great chatting with you. Have a great rest of the week and be on the lookout for on Thursday for more Coffee with Kenobi as we give you our top 5 things that the Return of the Jedi teaches us. Until next time, this is the podcast you're looking for. See you next time, friends. Thanks again.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.